Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google. What makes them industry giants? Get ready to take a peek inside and learn their secrets of success. This is Silicon Valley Insider, the show that demystifies the Valley and helps to elevate your business to the next level. Now, your host for Silicon Valley Insider, Keith Koo.
Welcome to Silicon Valley Insider. I'm your host, Keith Koo, and today I'm joined by two very special guests. Gyanendra Khadka, CEO of travel management on the blockchain company XcelTrip, and Kumar Pandey, who is the Chief Technology Officer of a technology service provider in blockchain and artificial intelligence, iBridge. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve Wozniak just spoke at the We Are Developers World Congress 2018 in Vienna, Austria, and he was on stage stating that blockchain is the next major IT revolution that is about to happen, and believes that Bitcoin and blockchain will achieve full potential within a decade. And this continues on the theme that blockchain is going beyond Bitcoin and adoption is starting to take off. Further proof of that is Deloitte consulting firm. Their head of blockchain decided to leave and start his own Ethereum-based supply chain blockchain. He was approached by many Deloitte clients to start this company, and so he did with $150 million in initial seed money. This is kind of a scary story depending on how you feel about embedded chips, but it appears that thousands of people in Sweden are embracing microchips embedded under their skin to replace their ID cards. There's about 3,000 Swedes who already inserted the chip into their bodies to make their daily lives easier. They can wave their hands around, buy snacks from vending machines, unlock their office doors, and get into the gym. This leads into a concept called biohacking, which used to be people like taking supplements and dietary mixes and drinks, but now we actually mean physically hacking your body with technology. We'll be talking more about that in a future show. There's another news story regarding Nuance Communications, which is a very popular dictation software. And they actually had a data breach that affected a hospital system of 45,000 patients. So far, the only customer is right up here, the San Francisco Department of Health, that's been affected. It occurred in December, and they had to file a notification with the SEC now with these data breaches. It was related to their eScription transcription platform. So this is where you are reading in your pharmaceutical, your drug prescriptions. And this is also related to the NotPetya infection. They estimated that they lost $6 to $8 million in revenue around the world related to that virus. And that's the news. So welcome back. Once again, I'm joined by Gyanendra Khadka, CEO of XcelTrip, and Kumar Pandey, CTO of iBridge. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So it's great having you. XcelTrip sounds like a really exciting project. So Hub, why don't you talk a little bit about what that project is?
Thank you so much. Actually, we are trying to create decentralized travel ecosystem because travel industry is really huge. This is something big, which is like $7.6 trillion right after gold industry. Yeah.
That sounds great. And Hub, why don't you talk about how you got to here?
I've always been entrepreneur, and actually I'm heavily into travel industry. Yes, I'm a hotelier and venture capitalist. I've been investing in many a blockchain startup and all, and being early adopter in Bitcoin. So this is my responsibility.
Okay.
Yes, I'm a believer. And there is a cause that I have to do a lot of things for blockchain and cryptocurrency industry. That's how I initiated planning for startup. And since travel industry is really big and we need disruption because we need to cut intermediary system. There are a lot of things happening which travelers don't want, right?
Right.
So we are trying to solve that problems.
Okay, thanks. And Kumar, how did you get started in working with XcelTrip?
I have probably been working on startups for the last 10, 12 years and have had some successful, exits with some of the startups. But since 2014, I have been closely following the crypto space. I've been following the whole the infighting in the Bitcoin community, the Ethereum, the genesis of Ethereum, and then and as I started learning more about it, I fell deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole, and then I met Hub. And Hub talked to me about his idea about how disintermediating the middleman in the travel industry, and I thought that was a perfect opportunity to get on board and help him. So I'm advising XcelTrip on their blockchain strategy.
Okay. And so how does that interaction work? I mean, we've had a lot of shows on blockchain, and we'll get into a lot of where XcelTrip is at in terms of how you got funded and all that good stuff. But how does the interaction between the two companies work, since you have the funding and the idea hub, and Kumar, you're the one building out that technology? What's that relationship like?
So XcelTrip has their own engineering team, and their engineering team is building most of the platform, the XcelTrip platform. And where I come in is I advise them in terms of what their blockchain strategies should be, look at the industry right now, and feel the pulse on which part of the blockchain technology is ready to be adopted. And based on that, consult with their engineering team and help them adopt the technology within the XcelTrip platform.
Okay. So Hub, how long has XcelTrip been available as a platform?
Yeah, it's been like 2 years. Yeah, we've been actively working from the last 2 years and building our own entire travel platform. We have 28 engineers working in-house back in Kathmandu and Bangalore, India. So we have dedicated team working for us. And we have business development team. They're actively working on marketing and expansion side, because the whole idea is to create entrepreneurs, to create millions of travelpreneurs on disruption. Yeah. Because this travel industry need big disruption, yes, right away. So that's the reason, because if you look at Uber, they have created millions of jobs around the world. And I believe XcelTrip will be the company creating millions of travelpreneurs around the world, yes, right. Because this is very important. So I'm giving my whole time to create ideas, to educate and empower young generation. Right, because I'm a believer in blockchain. I have big followers, and the idea itself is really big. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the application of that, and we've talked about it again on different use cases.
Yeah.
So I think in our next segment, we're going to talk about why people will be coming to your platform, what the opportunity is, how they can save from the traditional travel agency model.
Yeah.
Right. And we'll also be talking about some other exciting things that you guys are working on.
Yeah, because the idea is not just about travel, tours and travel. We are actually trying to create entire ecosystems.
Right.
Right. Yes, we need to create utility. Yes, for the platform, we need to build that.
So Hub, let's wait to the next segment.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that right when we get back.
Okay.
So you're listening to Silicon Valley Insider with Keith Koo. I'm joined by CEO of XcelTrip, Hub Khadka, and the CTO of iBridge, Kumar Pandey. And if you need to reach us, email us at info@svi.biz, and we'll be right back.
For questions or comments on today's program, call 1-888-828-7846. That's 888-828-SVIN. Now, back to Silicon Valley Insider. Once again, your host, Keith Koo.
Welcome back to Silicon Valley Insider.
Thank you.
I'm your host, Keith Koo. I've got Hub Khadka, CEO of XcelTrip, a travel management platform on blockchain. And I have Kumar Pandey, the Chief Technology Officer of iBridge, a blockchain and AI technology service provider. Hey, guys.
Hi.
So perfect timing. Question of the week is, what is an airdrop? So Kumar, can you tell me what an airdrop is?
Sure. So I would say airdrop is one of the way to kickstart your user community, and without your user community having to invest in the system. So you would invite the user community to participate in your token ecosystem, handhold them to manage their wallets if they're not already familiar with it. and then give them some tokens to start playing with it to familiarize them with in this new environment.
Great, thank you. And just to reiterate, so an airdrop, if you're listening to things related to blockchain, this is where companies decide to give out tokens. And there's security tokens, there's utility tokens, but they give out tokens. And
That's correct.
in essence, they're free.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't something that's like investment advice or anything like that. But we say that because I believe that XcelTrip is actually going to prepare an airdrop. And there'll be information about that later on in this episode.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks, Kumar, for that.
Sure.
So in our last segment, we were just getting into the need for why XcelTrip decided to focus on the travel industry, that it's ripe for disruption. So Hub, please go on.
Yeah, actually, like XcelTrip, before I talk about XcelTrip, I want to talk something about like blockchain, because blockchain was not like created for something else, because it was created to solve the problems in every aspect of life, in every industries, in every particles. So we are looking at like travel industry, and working really hard from the last 2 years. And actually we are like self-funded so far, right? And most of the companies, they are raising fund with white paper, but we invested our own money. Actually, we are taking risk, our own, to build a platform, and we already built it, in terms of like OTA platform, and we are working on like DTE side, right? So we have great team, and everybody is working hard, and we just released like airdrop opportunity, and you are going to air like later. Yeah, actually we are trying to give a free airdrop to create more utility in the platform, right? That's all.
Yeah, thanks, Hub. And I'm glad you bring this up because we have had different types of blockchain companies on. We've had companies that were back before it became not good, but we had pre-ICO companies on that decided not to ICO. We had companies that originally decided to ICO many years ago and decided to self-fund. So I think now's a good time to actually ask a question, which is ICO versus pre-sale.
Like let me add here, like cryptocurrency was not created to create ICO. It was not created to raise fund for people who are looking for money, right? It was created to solve some problems in like economic side, right? Financial sectors, to replace the fiat. I can say that, right? Because everybody is talking about that, right? So we are in the process of doing that, right? And when we talk about like token economics, we have also created like XcelToken, but we have created XcelToken to increase utility in the platform, to build the like ecosystem, right? To increase the value for ecosystems, right? Yeah, I think like Kumar will talk more about.
Kumar, let's talk about the tokenomics.
Sure. So I'd like to start from like why I believe token economics and representation of tokens within the community is the next frontier, and that's here to stay. A while back, I read a book from Yuval Harari, *Sapiens*, and because everybody in this space was talking about that book, so I picked up a copy and read it, and then. Long and behold, just like once you get into the blockchain, you go into the rabbit hole. Once you pick up this book, you go into the rabbit hole. It talks about how Homo sapiens, besides Neanderthal and all these guys, ended up becoming the, dominant species on Earth. And part of the reason was because humans, they can create and connect with ideas instead of just physical things. So like if you look around, religion, politics, countries, like all of these things are just stories, right? And that allowed me to sort of understand Bancor and their world vision. So Bancor is a company, they had a very successful ICO last year. And interestingly, they did an experiment, I think around like 2014, where they airdropped a community currency among cash-strapped moms. And long and behold, they saw the currency really being used in the system and almost, taking part in commerce worth around like, tens of millions of dollars, right? But then it reached a stagnation point, and then they found out that the reason it kind of reached a stagnation point is that the currency was only within the ecosystem. It couldn't go out of the ecosystem, and there are moms who had to pay electricity bills, moms who had to fill up the gas, right? And they couldn't do that. Now, the technology innovation that we're seeing in this space with Bancor providing a platform for liquidity and all these decentralized exchanges, I think token is going to have sort of like easy built-in technologies to provide liquidity. So because of that, if you're adding values, you can sort of represent that with a token and have that token work within your ecosystem. So in XcelTrip, we see that as long as we provide two things. One is a lot of utilities within the ecosystem, right? And then liquidity for people to go in and out of the system. The Excel token will play a big role and will have some value.
I think that's a great point because last week was consensus. Mm-hmm. And last week I had talked about on the show during the tech news segment that two things. One is Seminole County, Florida decided to accept Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin for things. And they said specifically, the tax collector said that it was actually going to reduce settlement times and actually consumers will be paying less money in bank fees.
Right.
And then during consensus, it was a joke. There was a group, I forget the group name, but they actually did a kind of a satire protest which said bankers against Bitcoin. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that people are still struggling with, that they don't understand that, back to what you said, Hub, earlier, that the transformative properties of blockchain, beyond what people think is crypto, is the actual utility, which is something that I'm very interested in.
Yeah.
So in terms of XcelTrip, as this platform gets adopted, what are some of the ways that people are going to find value in the platform itself?
Because XcelTrip is the use case for like token economics. So like in our platform is currently ready. Actually, from today, people can actually book hotel and buy air ticket, right? It's using fiat.
Right.
So we are not ready with like token payment, but it will be ready in the next few months. We are working really hard for this, working on like wallet and API like things. So we have envisioned that like people with our token, they can actually book hotel, buy air ticket, right? And they can drop by at the like restaurants and pay with Excel token, right? So and the vendors, they can go to decentralized exchange and settle the payment, right? So we are looking at that way. But when we talk about like Excel token being decentralized travel ecosystem, DTA, we are actually trying to cut the middleman systems because there are a lot of problems and hurdles for travelers. Because I'm frequent travelers, I travel like 127 flights in 10 months.
Wow.
Right. I just came back to like California. I'm going back to Asia again. So there are a lot of problems in terms of like flights and hotels. I've been facing that kind of issues like every week. And I believe most of the travelers from around the world, they are facing the same issues. So in terms of like customer service, we are trying to provide like quality services. In terms of like payment, yes, we are trying to connect consumers and like vendors together. So when we connect vendors and like customers together, like customers pay, vendor receive the money, right? Customers has problem, customers and vendors can deal together and like solve the problems, right?
So Hub, this is really good and exciting. I think, let me pause you right there because in our next segment, I want to talk about your airdrop. Okay. I want to talk about how your ecosystem actually works.
Yeah.
So if this is interesting to you, remember that there is the Tulip Conference June 7th and 8th in San Francisco, tulipconf.com. We'll be talking about crypto economics, token economics, anything else. You can email us at info@svi.biz. We'll be right back.
For questions or comments on today's program, call 1-888-828-7846. That's 888-828-SVIN. Now, back to Silicon Valley Insider. Once again, your host, Keith Koo.
Hey, Insiders. Welcome back. Silicon Valley Insider with Keith Koo. Today joined by Hub Khadka, CEO of XcelTrip, a blockchain travel management company, and Kumar Pandey, CTO of iBridge, a blockchain service provider. They also do artificial intelligence. Hello again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So in today's show, we've been talking a lot about airdrops, which are basically free tokens. And so I thought it'd be a good time, because this might be the first time anybody has tokens at all, to explain how you keep yourself safe with airdrops and wallets. So the first suggestion is never send any private keys. There's no reason why anyone needs to have your private key, so just keep it safe. Also, don't send any money to any addresses. Remember, airdrops are free, Whether it requires you to be holding a certain coin or if it just appears in your wallet, an airdrop will never ask you to send any amount of some coin to some type of address. If they ask for this, it's probably a fraud. And always check official sources. If a coin is actually doing an airdrop, it is likely they'll have announced it on their official social media accounts, such as Twitter. Check there to make sure that the airdrop is official. Otherwise, you might be subject to a scam with scammers trying to collect your data. And that's the cyber tip of the week. So welcome back, Hub and Kumar.
Thank you.
So in our last segments, we led up to your story, how XcelTrip got started, that it's really about the opportunity to disrupt the travel space, and that the utility from the tokenomics, as Kumar mentioned, is really where a lot of advantages are in the system. So what is your ecosystem like? How does that all work?
Actually, we are trying to build entire ecosystem in terms of travel and F&B, right? And we are semi-decentralizing process right now because we cannot always talk about decentralization and blockchain since the entire industry, entire world is not ready for that. Right. So we are still following the traditional path of OTA. Yeah, we are trying to become complete OTA. Yes, and in the process, going on forward for DTE, decentralized traveling ecosystem.
Okay.
We are not complete DTE yet, so we are planning to become and finish all entire development for decentralized travel ecosystem by the end of 2019.
Wow.
Because being OTA, we need millions of inventory. We are trying to build our own database. Yes, we are not trying to use third-party database. That's the reason we are really working hard on the backend side and the business development and IMP development side. And same time, we are also building our own web API and our wallet because merchant also needs their own wallet and custom wallet for the payment process. Just it would work just like how WeChat pay.
Right. So let's help out some of the listeners. IMP stands for?
Independent marketing partner.
Okay.
Because I've always been in business all my life, right? And I came up with something. Why not I create something that will create impact in the global society, that will create jobs, right?
Okay.
That will create more opportunity for the people without any investment. There are a lot of investment opportunity around the world, but that needs money, that requires a lot of investment. But why not I create something that with no investment, people get opportunity to make money, yes, for living. So right? That's the reason I came up with IMP.
Is IMP idea. Like a travel agent?
It works like travel agent,
okay.
But they are independent. They work for themselves.
Yes.
Right? And they are marketing partner for vendors like hotel, restaurants, and bars. And they're also mediator for us, but they work independently.
So kind of like an Uber driver.
Oh yes, definitely
for the travel industry.
Yes, okay. Yes, but the different part is the moment Uber driver stops driving, yes, they don't receive any money. They don't earn any income.
Yes.
But here, the moment they list one property, let's say one IMP list one hotel from Bangkok, Thailand.
Yes.
Yes, and once he lists that property, means that property is forever free for himself. Yes, if one traveler from around the world, they go to our website and book hotel room in that hotel, he's going to receive 2.5% out of that, expenses.
Yeah.
It means he's going to earn that money, yes, forever.
Right.
So he doesn't have to find another travelers or guests for that hotel again.
Okay.
So this will work, yes, that way, and it will work in the same way for F&B industry. But we have amazing cloud bar system that I will, if I get opportunity or time, so I'll talk about that.
Sure, please do. And what is an F&B?
Food and beverage.
Okay,
right.
Got it.
So we are actually, it's not about disruption, but we are trying to create something new for restaurant and bar side, because everything is going digital right now. Yeah. Right? Because people trying to be cashless or credit card less. For me, I spend 95% of my expenses in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't use cash or credit cards. I love to spend Bitcoin for anything. If you talk about my mobile, my watch, or my travel, my hotel, for airlines, anything I spend in Bitcoin, it means the whole society is going to be digital. That's the reason, even in F&B side also, we are looking at same thing.
Please go on.
Yeah, so restaurant side also, there is a lot of work for IMP. So we need to build that inventory. So IMP is going to list all the restaurants around the world. So when someone go and pay at that restaurants, IMP is going to make 5% of that expense. It means that's for lifetime, right? They're going to make money after that. We're also going to provide XcelToken, like a merchant wallet system to every restaurant and bars. So when someone go there and pay using XcelToken, right? So IMP can actually make some money out of that, right, as a transaction. So we are already working on it. Tech team is working on it. It will be ready in the next few months. So if any restaurant bar want to accept XcelToken as a payment systems, so they'll be ready to accept it in the next few months. We're working on it. So when I talk about bar, it's like cloud bar. Because like I drink sometimes I'm social drinker, right? Yeah. So last month I went to like Maldives for a holiday and I bought like one whiskey. But when I went there in the resort, they have a lot of champagne. So I enjoy drinking champagnes. So I did not even open the bottle. So I had to leave that bottle at the resort. So I've been doing that all my life, right? And there are a lot of travelers, they buy alcohol at the duty-free shop, right? And they don't finish it. Right. They have to leave it at the rooms, right? So the whole idea is to create X bar, which is cloud bar. So we are coming up with our own app. So when you travel, you can actually buy virtual bottle from our app. You can pay using XcelToken, or in the beginning, you can also spend using fiat credit card, right? So you can travel. If you go to Bangkok, yes, and you can find nearby X bar, right? They have to list on a platform, nearby X bar. You can go and drink like 60 ml of like, let's say like whiskey, let's say like Jerry. So you don't have to pay using card. You can say, okay, I want to pay by XcelToken because they have XcelToken merchant wallet. So you can just pay.
That's fascinating.
It means pay means you already paid for it. You just have QR code system. You can just tap. It means you have 60 ml less. Yeah. So next time you can travel to like Singapore. You can look for like X bar nearby. You can just go and drink. It means you don't have to carry your bottle. It's a virtual bottle.
No, yeah, that's fascinating. I think that's a whole different show too. But you mentioned a couple of things I want to clarify, right? Because you are a US-based company, but you brought up Bangkok and Singapore. So you're actually operating globally.
Actually, like we are the first use case-based utility company, right? Because which is ready, almost ready to, because there are a lot of company just working with white paper, raising funds to build a platform, but we are almost ready. So we are a global company. We are based out of like here's like Silicon Valley, right? And we have our physical office in Singapore for Asia. We have our one development house for tech side in India and Nepal. And we also have some kinds of like development team like in Mexico and some other countries, right? And right here in San Jose, right? We have office. So we have physical office in 4 locations, and we have people who actively working from different locations around the world, since travel industry for everybody and everybody travels.
Right. So then where are you operating already? And you mentioned a lot of offices you have, but where are your sweet spots right now?
Okay, we have office here in San Jose, California, right? We are working from here, and we have office in Singapore, actually working on expansion marketing side for entire Asia region, right? And India office is for tech development and India marketing expansion, because we are not yet ready, but we need to create market and we need to create expansion strategy. So we have huge bunch of marketing and business development team. So we are traveling a lot, right? Traveling a lot. Everybody's traveling, and we are attending a lot of blockchain summit. We are one of the sponsors for Blockchain Expo North America and Blockchain Expo London, and going to be Blockchain Expo Amsterdam on June 22nd, 6 and 7. Right, and we have one event 19 in Copenhagen, right? One of our co-founders traveling. It means we are trying to cover the entire world and working from different places.
Right. So then where are you targeting specifically for IMPs? Just everywhere, or there's certain Europe, Western Europe?
We are trying to target everywhere around the world. Right. Specifically internally, we are trying to target 15 countries at the moment. Right, let's say Latin America, Mexico, and Brazil, US, in Asia, most of the Asian tourism country. But for IMP, everybody can become IMP, because if that country has hotels, restaurants, and bars, that country needs IMP.
Right.
If that country's people also love to travel, that country also need IMP and XcelTrip, because XcelTrip is the platform. right? Where everybody can sell their rooms and their like services, right? Yes, their products. So and we are trying to disrupt like OTA business, because there are 3 top OTA. They are like controlling 70% of the market, entire $7.6 trillion market, right? And it is costing a lot for like end users, because there is a cost for between like 25 to 40% that end consumer has to pay. So if we talk about like feeless, right, OTA, feeless OTA means like DTE, right? Like we don't have to pay anything for like a vendor, like no OTAs. It means customer pay less, like 25 to 40% less for their travel. It is going to be much cheaper.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. So then that goes back to, what's a DTE?
It's a decentralized travel ecosystem.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. No, I think this is where people are starting to wake up to understand what the possible disruption of all this technology is. So I think with the 1 minute we have left in this segment, we should talk about, in our final segment, we're going to talk about your airdrop. We're going to talk about the way for people to get engaged with XcelTrip. And then we're going to also talk about what we were just starting into is there's still this transformative technology that people are just now starting to wake up to. So again, thanks. I have Hub Khadka, CEO of XcelTrip. That's XcelTrip. And I have Kumar Pandey, who is the CTO of iBridge. And if you have any questions, you can email us at info@svn.biz. And just a quick reminder that the Tulip Conference, where we talk a lot about cryptonomics and tokenomics and all these use cases, can also be found at tulipconf.com. And we'll be right back.
For questions or comments on today's program, call 1-888-828-7846. That's 888-828-SVIN. Now, back to Silicon Valley Insider. Once again, your host, Keith Koo.
Welcome back to Silicon Valley Insider. I am your host, Keith Koo. I've been joined today by CEO of XcelTrip, Hub Khadka, and the CTO of iBridge, a blockchain and artificial intelligence service provider, Kumar Pandey. Thanks again.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we've been making people wait this entire show on what an airdrop is. So in the first segment, we talked about what is an airdrop. And now we're talking about your company, how you're offering an airdrop. So what's that process?
So XcelTrip will give you a link in a minute. So XcelTrip will provide a link where a user can go and sign up. And then probably in about 45 or 60 days time, you will be notified of instructions to go sweep the 100 Excel tokens into the wallet, and we'll have all the instructions on the website in terms of how to do that.
Okay, and this is really good. I think just to make sure everyone understands, an airdrop is in essence free token. Mm-hmm. It's not investment advice. This isn't about trying to do an ICO or get cryptocurrency in getting higher value. This is really about getting started in holding some tokens.
Right.
And we talked about earlier in the show also how to keep yourself safe from that. And so if you've never owned a token before, this is your opportunity. And again, we'll give you more details in a few minutes. So Hub, we had a really good time talking about where XcelTrip is going, the potential for the platform in all of these different use cases, from travel management to food and beverage. Why don't we talk a little bit more about the incentives for people to get involved?
Okay, thank you so much. Let me add something about airdrop very quick.
Yep.
So we have over like 50,000 like users just already receive like a free Excel token.
Yeah.
Because we have over 15,000 IMP from around the world. So whenever people become our IMP, we also reward with 100 Excel token free. So we have over 15,000 IMP already, and every day we are getting like more than 1,000 IMP. Yes, from around the world. And we already airdropped during Blockchain Expo in London, and we did also from our website. So we have over 22,000 registered people for airdrop, and they are going to receive free Excel token. And from this also we are going to give free Excel token for listeners, right? And we believe we are trying to create like over 100,000 like users just for airdrop.
Yeah.
Just by next week. So here, when we talk about like XcelTrip, we are trying to create and like empower young generation around the world. If we talk only about India, India has more than 500 million young generation, and they need opportunity.
Right.
They need empowerment. So every country has young generation. They are looking for opportunity, but most of them don't have like investment. They cannot afford to become like entrepreneur. So the whole idea is to create free opportunity for those people who are looking for opportunity, who want to make some money out of it, who want to become entrepreneur, yes, and change their life entirely, right? Everybody wants to become entrepreneur, but just because they don't have quality education, they don't have money, they cannot become. So we are the company inviting everybody to become our independent marketing partner, and it doesn't cost, but we are paying yes as a reward for their efforts and for their time. And this is the foundation. This is where they can actually build their entire like career. This is the career, yes, for them to build their like a successful life. Right? Yeah, that's the reason we created the platform. But there are a lot of phishing things going on. I have to tell, because there are a lot of like phishing sites, domains, and things is happening. And like I saw some website, people are trying to scam or raise money for because of tokens, right?
Right.
So I want to tell everybody that we are not sharing our tokens during ICOs or any kinds of things. So I want to invite everybody, go to exchange and buy XcelToken, because they should be able to use our XcelToken for booking or for something else in the future, because since we are mainly focused on utility, right? Utility side, and we also want to create create users levels to participate to build the entire ecosystem. So the whole idea is to create jobs, to create empowerment, yes, to create like excitement for young generations, not only inside the blockchain community, but outside the blockchain community, inviting them for new opportunity, because it's a new economy creating new opportunity for people.
Yep, and thanks, Hub. I think that is a really good, invigorating explanation of why you started and what XcelTrip is about. A few points of clarification before we end is that XcelTrip is an ERC20 based token, which is a derivative of Ethereum. So this isn't like, because I want to make sure people understand you were talking about these fake, scammy ICOs. This is based on Ethereum. Go ahead.
Yes, actually, like XcelTrip is the DTE platform, but XcelTrip is the use case for XcelToken. XcelToken is created under ERC20 Ethereum platform, right? I'm not against ICOs, because ICO people have great ideas.
Right.
I'm just saying everybody has great idea, but every great idea is not going to work, right? Needs a lot of like dedication, hard work, and a lot of things, right? I'm just trying to encourage people for use case, adoption, like ecosystems, and all these things.
So, Hub, that's been an inspiring story. I'm glad you and Kumar could join us today. With the few seconds we have left, what is the airdrop location?
XcelToken.com/SV.
Okay. So, again, we were joined today by Hub Khadka, CEO of XcelTrip, and Kumar Pandey, who's the CTO of iBridge, the blockchain service provider who created and was involved with creating the tokens for XcelTrip.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're listening to Keith Koo on Silicon Valley Insider. Once again, their airdrop location is XcelToken.com/SV. And we'll be seeing you next week. Thanks again. Silicon Valley Insider and the host Keith Koo have no financial stake in XcelTrip's airdrop.
You've been listening to Silicon Valley Insider with Keith Koo. For questions or comments on today's program, or to schedule a complimentary consultation with Keith about your business, call 1-888-828-SVIN. That's 1-888-828-7846. 888-828-SVIN.